Hello. Hello. Yes. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be with you on such a auspicious day from actually, I'm live in very auspicious location. Here I am. I don't know if the lighting will allow for it, but I don't know, is this visible here? I wonder if I can even see the mountain from here. I'm here in Mount Shasta. Just completed a very powerful event conference where I was invited to speak with Lee Carroll, Monica Mariani, and so many amazing people. In fact, some of them will be on today's call. And I want to hear, where are you joining from, everyone? Where are you joining from as we're looking at the ancient secrets and how they can change your life forever? Just go ahead and put in the chat where you're joining from. And I want to hear, where are you joining from, everyone? I can hear myself. Awesome. As we're Cornelia, I'm just gonna mute you for okay, good. And the other question I want to start off today with: first of all, what if today there's some ancient secret that settles in your heart in a powerful way, in a new way, that changes everything? But the question I want to start with is this: what is one unexpected thing that you're grateful for? Unexpected thing you're grateful for? Actually, I want to start with you, Jana. What's one unexpected thing?
Oh my gosh, when you said that, it just lit up a whole bunch of things. So, I am grateful for an unexpected move, a change. Oh, Gail, I can see myself on your screen. How wild is that? Anyway, it was just unexpected and it's been very delightful. I've just really enjoyed it. So, and I've had a lot of unexpected change and things that I'm very grateful for. So thank you. Is there somebody else? The Ingmans, Susan and Joseph, do you guys have some unexpected thing that you're grateful for?
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon or evening. I think my biggest thing that I'm grateful for is that I'm getting to see that the things that I worry about don't happen. And that's kind of just a big deal, because the universe just changes things in the universe's way. Might not always be the way I want it, but the things I'm worrying about don't happen. So that's what I'm grateful for this morning.
I would say my ongoing, most recent gratitudes go to being able to see myself as things are reflected back to me, and I observe things that I am saying and doing and ways I'm behaving that for me allow an opportunity to reflect on them and kind of rethink them or realize where they're coming from, or and I'm going to paraphrase something that I shared with Dr. Clint here a few days ago, something he said a few weeks ago, which was a paraphrase from his brother. And it goes something like this for me, that every act or every behavior is either an act of love or an ask for love. And when I look at things that others do or that I do and view it from that that perspective, if it turns out that it's an ask for love, it takes me to a place of opening my heart and having more compassion and understanding. And so I do that for myself and I do that for others. And so those are my my ongoing gratitudes. So thank you.
I cannot tell you what both of those things do to my heart. It just opens it right up, both of you, understanding that things that you worry about don't ever happen, and that usually when you're working with, somebody, you're realizing that it's an ask for love or giving love. It's beautiful. You know, I see a couple people on the call and I know that their video is off. Judy Lamar, are you available to talk? And David, I would love to hear from each one of you.
Yeah.
If you
Also,
are.
as you're queuing up, I definitely want to hear from Judy Lamar and David. There is when I was in Nepal, I heard a story about this great Rinpoche, this great, they're considered ascended masters. And it was at the very end of his life. And they asked him, what did you learn, great Rinpoche? And he said, there was like 80-90% of the things I worried about didn't ever happen. So I wish I wouldn't have spent that much time worrying about those things. Instead, I wish I would have just been living life, and being present. And that's why I love we're talking about the unexpected guests, or the unexpected things we're grateful for. Judy, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning. I'm
Good morning.
excited to say how grateful I am. I am drinking Pain Mukti. So I've crushed my pills and I've put hot water and it's wonderful. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna have to try that. That's amazing.
It's amazing. 4, 5, 6, because all right. So here's my miracle. I got to see Dr. Ronak.
Fantastic.
I got to get I had a pulse reading this week. And it was thrilling. 15 seconds, he answered all my questions. And oh God, I was just so grateful because it really will be a deeper level of healing. And I was really nervous because I hadn't been out traveling. And so I had to take public transportation, but then a friend picked me up and Susie was there with her massive healing hugs. So it was really quite a lovely experience. But anyway, this is just so exciting that I can dissolve them.
Oh, that's so
So if
great.
anybody, instead of this business, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to some real deeper healing and seeing him. I'd like to see him in 4 months. So that's my story. Oh, interesting. One of my problems is craving sugar, craving sweets. But since I had the pulse, it was gone. So I just wonder if the pulse reading resets, the balance, possibly.
So
what do you think? Is that possible?
It's very possible. And I'm so glad that you experienced that. And also, Judy Lamar, not only that, but I spoke about you in that event in front of the nearly, 260 to 300 people. I got to hold up your bag. A lot of people were sending you so much love.
Oh, that's lovely, honey. Thank you so much. It's such a thrill that I know that I'm traveling with you. I love it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. So
You're
excited.
welcome.
And also today here in Mount Shasta, I'm doing a pulse clinic and
Oh boy.
they're coming. And they're coming for the first time. And it's just so exciting you're making me even more excited about it by just sharing your experience with Dr. Ronak.
Good. Well, hopefully you'll come to this area sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Monica's working on that right now. So we'll have the
Good. Okay. Thank you. Love you. Thanks.
So much fun. Who else did you call on, Jana?
David, I'd like to hear from David.
David.
Yes. Hello, David.
Hello. I don't know.
So the question was, what unexpected thing are you grateful for?
That I get fired 2 times this week.
Mm.
Like for my main job and my part-time job. And I have known it. So I just was trying to hold it. At the end, the company leader fired me. So I tried to let it work out, but at the end, it just happens as I expected it during like a month.
And I have been amazed at the feedback that you've received. How has that been for you?
I mean, it was great. I mean, it was amazing, the support.
Yes. So a lot of people that I'm watching, they're like, I've seen Afsana said, I'm sorry that you got fired, but I am so grateful that you got fired, because David, you're a pretty powerful force and you've had a pretty big mission in your mind. And sometimes when you put out, this is what I've noticed with this game, is when I put out what I want, a lot of times the universe will start rearranging it. And sometimes letting go of some of the things that I'm used to holding on to are very painful. And it's like, wait a minute, this is my security. But in order for me to get what I want, I have to let it go. And I have to be able
Yes.
to embrace what's new. So I have been fired from a few jobs myself, and it is no fun.
Maybe
And,
it's how it is. I mean, it's just-
but I believe in you, and I
Yeah.
believe in your desire, and I believe in your passion. You have such passion.
thank you.
What is one thing you find yourself grateful for about that situation, David?
To able to communicate, to able to stay behind my strengths. So my chef shouted at me a shit of human rights, and I just worked out on my main job. And the other chef called me on the phone and say, I'm gonna fire you. 2 weeks before, we was discussing about the option to work in full-time in this part-time job. And he's just throwing me out from a full-time position to no work.
So the thing you're grateful for is that your ability to speak your voice. Is that what you said? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, to stay behind my own voice and my own decisions.
To stand behind your own voice and your own decisions. This is so
Like
powerful.
own intuition, yes.
As much as we're grateful for certain things, also some things are difficult with the unexpected guests. And so if we can send David just so much love, just put some hands together all over the world to you there in Germany. We're sending you so much love. We love you and we're with you, David. Love you and we're with you. And
Thank you.
yeah,
It's really
there's been some big transitions in the last week for a lot of people. It's been a big week. And I just want to say, I'm seeing some of the people on this call. I'm so happy. Afsana, you're here. Andrea, you're here. Anne, Arati, Barbara, Belle, so good to see you here. Belle, is our special guest on the call right now? Bobby, Brad, Fenwick, yes, so good to see you here.
I just checked, Dr. Clinton. No, she's not on yet. If she's going to make it, she's had kind of a rough night, I think.
Okay, just send her a message, and if she comes on, just make sure you alert me.
Perfect. I will.
Okay, good. Cassandra, Charlotte, Chris Richardson, yes, so good to see you. Dr. Cynthia, oh my goodness, your first time last week, and the email that you sent, that Monica sent me, was so beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. So good.
A musical guest. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, good to be here. I'm just sort of adjusting, and then I'll get on with the video.
Good. We got we have Lawrence Katz, whose birthday we just celebrated in Ashland. So good to see you on the call. Marissa, yes. Mary Pat, we're so good to see you here. Michael Evans, Michelle, and my mom. It's so good to see you. Wow, so happy to see you. Zaffi and Noel. Lauren. Sir, but Lawrence, can you speak?
Yes. My unexpected guest was your mother.King her got dropped off at the sanctuary was one of the highlights of the week.
Awesome.
I have pictures of you singing at the solstice party, which I'll share with you in a video.
So beautiful. For those that don't know, it was Lawrence's birthday. It was the first time I ever had a chance, the blessing to meet in person Joseph Eggman and also Luke Sutton and Belle. And it was just such a magical gathering. It was so beautiful the night before I came here to Mount Shasta. So thank you, Lawrence. You just opened up such a portal of being, of love. Dr. Ram, he always says that there's knowing, there's doing, and there's being. And you are such a good representation of being. And even the celebration, the solstice celebration, your birthday, it was such a good example of that. It was just pure beingness.
It is. And now I'm celebrating my son who hasn't been home for 2 years, just came with his friends. So I won't be able to stay on the whole time, but I wanted to at least check in the morning and say hi to everybody and say how grateful I am for the soul family that you've created.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here, and so much love to your son and his friend. And what a what a beautiful thing that he arrived right at this time.
Couldn't be more perfection in the universe.
We're talking about the sun, and we see the sun right there shining, beaming its beautiful rays on all of us right behind you. So perfect.
Let him see the garden.
Oh yeah, this is Lawrence's sanctuary where he lives. So beautiful. Actually, let me see if I can spotlight the camera, because I think when I speak, it doesn't. There we go. Can everyone see that now? Blasted with a little bit of that space.
Well, and Dr. Clint, I want to say that I rounded the corner bringing some salad for the gathering of the first gathering of food and I was just so delighted to see your mother. I mean, so I just wanted to say that was like, oh my God, that was an unexpected guest. She didn't stay long. Your mother and your brother, they didn't stay long, but it was just smiles. And there she was. Wow. So cheers to your mother.
Oh, thank you, Belle. It was so good. And Luke, I see you're here too. You got your hand raised. Yes. Can you unmute yourself, Luke?
Yes, there's something I would like to talk about my Aditi Devobawa, which, as you just mentioned, Dr. Clint, sometimes could be challenging. And this is really not easy for me to speak about. So just bear with me, because it's so interesting that it's happening this week on what I call my spiritual journey / vacation in Ashland, Oregon and Mount Shasta. But before I get into that, I do want to say that my time with meeting you in person and being at Lawrence's place and meeting Belle and seeing Joseph again, Joseph and Susan have become dear friends of mine in Washington. It was such a joyous time at Lawrence's place, and the singing and the dancing and the music and the eating and the laughing. It was just so joyful. So my Aditi Diva Bible this week has been so challenging, and I guess it'll be a little bit of a preview of what I want to speak with you later today when I have a pulse consultation with you. So I'm a private person, and there are certain things, especially health things, that I generally don't talk about. So for me to talk about this in public is not easy, but I feel like I need to, because it's been so challenging this week. And in a way, it's hard to feel grateful for it, but I know that in this challenging moment, there is this seed of great opportunity here, as we always say. So I've had for a few years this heart thing called premature ventricular contractions. It's an arrhythmia, and it's not life-threatening, but it's an irregular heartbeat, and I take medication for it, and I take, my Vaidya is Dr. Ronak, and we've talked about it, and I'm taking stuff for it. And this week it has got flared up. Actually, in Ashland, it was fine. Since I've been in Mount Shasta since Thursday in particular, so the last 4 days, it has flared up so badly, the worst it's been in, I can't even remember when. And it's ironic, because I've been with Roma Rishi and Tara these last few days, and I haven't been myself because of this. And I keep asking, okay, why is this happening? What's triggering this? I know one thing in particular it could be is my body's not used to being at altitudes. I live at sea level in Olympia, Washington, and here I'm at 3,600 feet. And that's the only thing I'm thinking is attributing to it. this something that's because it's an electrical system defect in the heart, which most of the time is very much under control with medication and supplements and everything. And it's been pretty okay. And it's been so challenging these last few days, the worst it's been in a while. And I'm saying, okay, I know there's something in this, the seed of something great. So that's been my Aditi Diva Bhava, and it's been so challenging. And I'm really dealing with it, but I'm feeling that I will get to the other side of it. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you later, Dr. Clint, so we could talk. And I'm giving you a little preview now of what I wanted to talk with you about. And when Judy talked about a reset and the possibility of a reset, that would be so beautiful. But, also when I was at Lawrence's place before everybody arrived, it was just me and Joseph and Lawrence. Lawrence looked at me and with his beautiful healing soul and looked at my, it's across here. And he said to me, you've got a blockage here. Because I have been living in the past too much with my ex-wife, who I have a lot of sorrow for the way I treated her. And I've been dealing with that. And I've had an awakening to the way I was. And it's hurtful and sorrowful to see the way I used to be, because I'm not that way anymore. And I really feel it's affected me across here. And Lawrence saw that without my even saying anything. And he gave me a little physically painful but meaningful little treatment in the moment. And he said, I've got this blockage here and I need to release it and everything. So that makes sense to me. So I've got a lot going along here that I just know I need to release. And that's part of my Aditi Diva Bhava, and I'm working on it. But this challenge in the last few days, wow, it's been so challenging. And with everything I know, all my knowledge and all my years of practice, and since I've been in Ancient Secrets, all my knowledge that I've attained, it's been challenging to muster up all my good feelings to deal with this challenge that's going on. It's so, anyway, I know I've taken some time, and I had sorry.
No, thank you. Who can resonate in some way with what Luke has shared? I just want to see. I see so many hands. I was with Dr. Ram for years and years, and then something would come, and I'd be like, "What's happening?" But then it's amazing because in this healing space, it actually makes sense to me why this is happening now. Because in the possibility of healing, sometimes stuff comes that's ready to surface. And Luke, I'm so grateful what you shared. I'm so happy to see you in Ashland. I'm so excited to see you today. And in that moment of crisis, like David, you lose both of your, or Luke facing some unexpected health situation and not sure what to do, how to navigate. And that unexpected guest, what do you do? And on today's call, we have not only music, but messages that I think are going to address it. I'm going to come back to you at the end of the call, Luke. I'm really excited to see what transpires on this call today, not even at the post clinic, but right now in this space. So I'm excited that you're here, Luke, and thank you so much for sharing that.
I just want to pay tribute for a moment to Joseph Ingman, because when we were talking, I talked about this because I was even experiencing some things before this trip. And he said something to me which really wrong. I never thought about it. He said to me, what I've possibly going through is sort of a PTSD. And Joseph, I remember you saying that, and at first I was taken aback, but I've thought about that and I said, wow, there could be some truth to that. I'm dealing with years of PTSD from the way I used to be and who I am not now. My body's dealing with this shift from this person who I used to be to who I am now, this heartfelt person who I am now. And I was not that way years ago. So Joseph, thank you. I've been thinking about that and reflecting on that. So this is such a wonderful community. The love that we give each other here is just so amazing. So thank you.
I want to say thank you, Luke. What if Luke is a microcosm of the macrocosm? What if humanity itself is going through some kind of PTSD? What if the people we thought we were, who we thought we were, isn't what we're moving into as a heartfelt, what if he's a microcosm of the macrocosm? And isn't that exciting that whatever is the stresses
You froze up there.
I froze a little bit, but I was just saying, what if he is a symbol, a reflection of the opportunity all of us are experiencing. So thank you, Luke. I'm so grateful for you for sharing that. So beautiful. All right, I want to go to Cassandra, and I want to say I'm so happy to see Harvey, Heather Ford, Hester Francis, Gail. We got such a cool musical guest, Heidi and Aaron, Helena, Liliana, Jan. So good to see you. Jawa, so good. Jeremy Engum, Jeremy Shepard, Jonathan DeLiz is in the house. Yes. Kirti, so good to see you. Kitty Pope, Christy, Linda Rousseau, Manuel, so good to see you. And also I want to hear from, we got Mindy, Patricia, Poonam, joining from Nepal. I'm so good to see you. And then Ray and Sahad, I'm so happy you're here. I want you to share in a little bit as well. We got Randy Burns, Rebecca Terra, Robert Gooden, and Robin Lee. So fun. I think maybe I'm going to see you here today. Rochelle and Roland, Samantha, Sarabjit, Savan, Sharmini, Sharon Hinckley, and everyone whose names I haven't read. I'm just so grateful that you're here in this space. So Cassandra, you have something you wanted to share?
Yes. So I, okay. So basically, I've been in my apartment for a year, and I felt like its purpose has, lived out. So I've been having like the past few months kind of like a push to move on, to move forward, to kind of like where I live is I've kind of outgrown it. It was a good like stepping stone, but I couldn't receive like clarity or direct guidance on where I am to go next. And usually I receive really clear messages, and for the last few months I haven't received any like clear guidance on where I'm to go next. So I was like, started to kind of panic. But the thing that I had been thinking was I'd probably go back to the women's shelter from where I was before. And I was kind of excited about it because since deconstructing and reconstructing, I'm a new person, absolutely. I could see how much it would benefit all the people that are there just by my divine presence. And also I have become a prolonged hermit, to where my being here, I've kind of like cut off a lot of communication, and it's kind of made me a little too introverted. So I was thinking how much of a blessing it would be to be able to go back there and be around people and, converse, and also be that loving presence that those people need. And
Cassandra, you're amazing. You're touching my heart on so many levels. A lot of people even in this community, have been facing transitions of living space. One of the ones is Esther Francis, Roma Rishi, Tara, and your example of looking at a situation and seeing the Aditi Devo Bhava and the gratitude in it and the power and trusting the divine in that is so powerful. So thank you, Cassandra. It's so beautiful. Let's put our
I
hands
guess maybe I'm not receiving the messages clearly, because that is what I'm supposed to do, is go there. Like, maybe that's why it feels good.
Well, even the fact that you're thinking in this way, and the fact that however it turns out, you're going to be in a good place. when you're doing these principles, when you're exercising that ancient secrets, like Esther Francis, so beautiful. You know, she ended up in the home of her son, but then so many miracles happened of love, of healing, powerful things. Roma Rishi and Tara, I mean, right now they're camping out on Bunny Flats. Their car broke down. They're making, even though they're camping out, they're finding a way to make Hmong soup for everyone at the clinic. So they're going to someone's house with a broken down car. They had Jimbo show up so that this morning they could be making Hmong soup for everyone. I mean, that is.
It's beautiful. It looks like Dr. Clint is frozen again. But yes, just the unexpected guest and being able to serve, you know, and be able to see what we have to offer in times where we don't think we have anything to offer. And Cassandra, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Esther, you have your hand up.
I have to share because the divine timing. I had wanted to go to Mount Shasta for the Pulse Clinic to reunite with Dr. Clint and Roma Rishi and Tara and meet Luke. And I really got, it wasn't the time. And anyhow, it wasn't the time because on Thursday, my son and I signed the papers that refinanced his home with my name on the mortgage. So nobody in the future, Dr. Clint,
So beautiful.
nobody in the future, and that would have been the day I left for Shasta, can raise my rent $850 unexpectedly. And the other thing that happened, and because I took it, and before I knew this, I just said, it was the Atiti Devobawa has given me, it's the partnership with the divine timing that I already had as part of a guiding paradigm. It's given me that even when, like, the news came of the rent going up like that, and I did have a few really upsetting days, the capacity to reset, the capacity to come back it's just amazing to come back to balance. And then what happened is, because I accepted I couldn't be at Shasta, and instead of remorse, I was rejoicing that all of you were going to be able to meet, and just knowing everything is in divine timing. And then the very next day, I find out that the band, I have a lot of favorite bands, but there's one. Each one of these players is a master, and they don't play here that frequently because one moved and doesn't live here. They were playing Friday night. I got to be with them. My other favorite, she sings so beautifully. Tammy Brown. I say to her, you do Aretha Franklin better than Aretha. I mean, that's a big statement to make. That's how great she is.
Esther, I am so amazed at how it's like you live in this magical land, and it's like you see all the magic around you at all the moments. You just are able to find the good in everything, even when you're disappointed, or even when you're afraid, or even when things are unexpected and disruptive. You just always find the magic.
Yeah, I see Rochelle. She says, Esther, how wonderful. 20 years of youth have returned to your essence. Andrea from Andy says, Esther Francis, you're amazing. So beautiful.
I take that in and I thank you, but I want to acknowledge the role that you, the Siddha Veda lineage, and this community have played in that, because that was part of my life. But what happened is that it all amplified as a result of being here with you all. And I want to say that because I want to just put the mirror and the micro, just right back to everybody else, that you all, whatever you're going through, to know the power of the love in this community. So gratitude and special fun just happens to be. I got invited to a picnic today, this afternoon, and we're another concert. So with them.
Oh, so good. Well, speaking of concerts, we got a special musical guest here today. And right before our musical guest comes on, Alex, you are one of my unexpected guests.
Morning, Clint. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
So I walked into the event at Mount Shasta, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this beautiful man says, "You're Dr. Clint." And he ended up being like an angel, helping at the table as books were being sold. And it's so funny because the entire time I was just enjoying his presence, but I never found out, how did he even hear about me? I just assumed it was from Lee Carroll, Monica from Cryon. Can you just share about your experience and then and just in like 1 minute, and then if you're available after, we're going to do some music and I'll have you share some more after.
Okay, well, yeah, it was a great experience seeing Clint at the conference with almost 300 people there. And I read his book because I took a writing course with Vimala Rogers. Yeah. And Vimala said, you need to read this book. Every week that we have the training with Vimala, she mentioned the book of Clint. You need to read this book. And I got into the book. I was hooked. I loved the book. I do the practice on a daily basis. And then it was a great gift when I was at the conference as a volunteer. I saw Clint coming through the door. He said, "You are Clint, you are on the book." And from there, everything began. It's an adventure. Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm going to have you share some more after, but Vimala, wherever you are right now, sending you so much love that in the middle of a writing class, you talked about ancient secrets in such a way that Alex took it up, read it, changed his life, loved it, and then ended up serving in such a powerful way. So we're going to have you share a little bit more in a moment, Alex, but just so glad that you're here. Emily Drew. Yes. What do you do in the moment of the crisis of faith? And what do you do in those moments? First of all, before you sing, what's one unexpected thing that you're grateful for recently?
Well, when you asked it earlier, the first thing that popped into my head was I'm in Virginia right now visiting family, and I'm here for the summer, been here for a little while, and I unexpectedly just found some like total soul family here, and I wasn't expecting to, and it's been a while since I've been on a very like solo internal journey for a little while, so I was very excited to like feel like I found some new soul family, and it was very unexpected that I would find that here in Virginia, because I'm usually out in California, so yeah, so that feels really good.
That makes me so happy. This song, in the context of what you've heard from everyone, and any framing you want to share for this song, or you want to go straight into it?
In the context of what I've heard, I'm not sure. It's more for me. It's like the context of what's happening in the world right now, and I've been getting the same message about everything. You know, the macrocosm is just a representation of the microcosm, and that's kind of what this song is about. It's you know, it can be so chaotic out there, but the more, you know, if everybody looked inward, if, you know, imagine if everyone looked inward and did, you know, their own part, then that's all that would really be needed. And that's kind of what this song is about. And I had this song recorded a little while ago, and I was just kind of sitting on it. And then recently I was like, what am I doing? The world needs this song right now so bad. And I immediately sent it over to get mastered. And so but I haven't gotten it back yet, but it will be released really soon. So I'm super excited, because I definitely feel like it's just a song that the world needs right now about, you know, no matter what's going on outside. I mean, the real work is what's inside, and that's what creates real change. And it sounds like, everyone on this call is doing the work, so that makes me so happy. I just love when I get to be a guest on these calls. Clint, thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say, everyone, you can just breathe. If we just take one deep breath in together to be present for this song, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feel the ground beneath your feet. We may spotlight some people during the song. So if you have your camera on, if anyone's on the spotlight, just send them all the love that you can. And if you're on the spotlight, just receive all the love. In the midst of the chaos, where is the miracle?
So Clint, let's invite everybody to open up their cameras.
Beautiful. Everyone, if you feel comfortable and feel okay on being on spotlight, please open your camera.
inside. In time we realize that the only thing that matters is the way we treat each other and this earth and her creatures. They come first if we want to survive. So breathe, and you'll see. Everything you need is waiting underneath all the hurt and the pain, but you are brave. Don't run away, 'cause every part of us is worthy of love. It's all we are, and it's all we've ever been. We just got lost, but at what cost? Well, these days we're looking outside for what we have within, facing too much importance on trying to win. All the money, all the things that don't really mean a thing at all. So this is a call to the people to rise up in love, 'cause we are capable. Take responsibility for everything that you see. Heal yourself to heal the world. And breathe as we sing. Everything you need is waiting underneath all the hurt and the pain, but you are brave. Don't run away, 'cause every part of us is worthy of love. It's all we are, and it's all we've ever been. We just got lost, but at what cost? Ooh, 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 yeah. You guys can sing this with me. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Oh, we can make a change if we start by changing our ways. Ooh, it's hard not to cry on that one. Oh, seeing all your beautiful faces was a blessing. I'm just gonna let myself cry now. Thank you, Clint. Giving me
Thank
this
you for
opportunity.
thank you for writing such a powerful song. That if everyone is a microcosm of the macrocosm, and what an injection of musical medicine of love and healing you poured into all of us today. Can you just read some of those words, just as we're in the wake of that loving energy? Just read some of the words that, or speak some of the words, because I think you had it memorized. Some of those words that And actually, anyone who had some of those words impact your heart, you can put them in the chat. You know, some of that words from that beautiful music. Emily, what are some of those words and just some of the meaning behind it for you?
Oh, yeah, what's coming to me is everything you need is waiting underneath all the hurt and the pain, but you are brave. Don't run away, because every part of us is worthy of love, and it's all we are, and it's all we've ever been. We just got a little lost, but we're all making our way back, and yeah, and we can make a change if we change our ways. One of my favorite lines and my favorite things I just love to say is heal yourself to heal the world. And because, you know, there are some things we can do for the external, and we do what we can, but mostly when we all heal ourselves, we're shifting things on such a deeper level, and that means that more light that we can bring into the world. And geez, does the world need some light right now. And I actually like to remember too that there's actually is a lot of light pouring in right now, which is, it's kind of highlighting and like pushing out everything. So everything is like rising to the surface. Like I think you were mentioning that earlier, Clint, and like, you know, and it's all, so even though it looks awful and crazy out there, it's like, I'm remembering that it's because there is, you know, there's more consciousness rising, more light coming onto the planet right now. So, that song will hopefully be released soon. If you can find my music on Spotify and things like that, I have some stuff out already. But I'm really excited about the new stuff I'm going to start sharing. So any follows and stuff on wherever you listen to music, on YouTube, all those things, you'll know when the song is out. So that would help me out to get more people hearing it, which would be great.
Yes. We'll make sure we share it with everyone. And so look for Emily Drew on Spotify or wherever, and you can follow her. But thank you so much, Emily, for blessing us with that.
You're so welcome. And I have to hop off, but otherwise I would totally stay and listen, but I have a class to teach right after this. So love you all so much. Sending so much love to you guys. Thank you for being amazing lights on this.
Is it okay if
planet.
we give you a gift, a blast of love right now in this moment, Emily?
I'll take it.
Yeah. We love you and we're with you.
I feel it. Thank you so much.
So beautiful. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Mm. 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 I want to hear anything come into anyone's heart, anything arising in this moment, in the midst of hearing the sharing so far and the music. I just want to give a moment for anyone to share anything that's in their heart. Anything that, you know, the opening quote in the book is how I started the whole presentation in Mount Shasta. I first of all had the book in Spanish. It says, does anyone speak Spanish? But half the audience spoke Spanish in some way. So we read the quote in Spanish. And then I said, does anyone speak Farsi? There was one person, Dr. Susan and Afsena, and everyone who's on this call that speaks Farsi. It was so beautiful to hear her read the quote in Farsi. And then finally I was like, who speaks English? Everyone raised their hand. And then they had heard the quote in English. And when they heard it in each language first, and then they heard it in English, there was an audible sigh of relief and joy of, yes, this is a truth we've been waiting for. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. So anything anyone wants to share about what love has taught you already on today's call. And then we have another special guest I'll be interviewing soon. Anyone want to just share?
Clint, I just, on Friday's call, the European call, Shelby gave a beautiful message that really touched my heart. She told of a story of where she was guided to do a specific task, and she was like in such resistance. She did not want to do the task at all. And the message that just kept coming was, you know, that you need to do this. And so she allowed her heart to be open, and you know, she was still kind of in resistance, and she was guided to be able to take a walk And as she was walking, she saw these beautiful deer. And seeing these beautiful deer, she hasn't seen deer for a while in her area. And when she saw the deer, she got the message that when you follow your heart and you surrender and you trust, then beautiful things can unfold, just like this moment. And it really touched my heart because, whatever, David is going through, whatever I've gone through, if I trust and surrender, it will come about. And that's what we're doing with this miracle game is, we're putting out, what do we want? We're seeing the beautiful divine gift in the Aditi Devo Bhava, and then expressing gratitude. And just listening to everybody share and Emily's beautiful music, it just really touched my heart. So thank you.
Thank you, Jana. You are just always spiritually nailing it on the head, so to speak, in terms of just getting right to the heart. And, as you spoke, I'm remembering magical moment, Joseph Engman. I don't know if you can unmute. I wonder, Joseph, if you have the picture of it, you can share, but we were walking on Lawrence's birthday in the beautiful area of Ashland, and walking on this like sunset walk with some beautiful people. And all of a sudden in the distance, Lawrence's dog, Jasmine, started barking. And we had to look, and there was this fox. And I don't know, Joseph, do you want to share the rest of this story? Because it's pretty remarkable, or Lawrence. But I think Joseph sharing it, what we can share what we saw even in Lawrence's being,
Go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking for the picture. So not one fox, but two foxi, were in the drive, not far, and one of them starts coming towards us. I mean, so unlike what I would expect from a wild animal.
Yeah, and we kept thinking it was going to walk past us or just ignore us.
But it literally came within, I don't know, 30 feet of us or so for, yeah. So here's one of the pictures of it.
Yeah.
As it was walking past us, but it came and kind of, communed with us. And there were a half dozen of us, standing there, and it had no fear of us. It had interest, and really, I felt like came to bless us and give us a message. And its partner was then waiting down the road 50 yards and stood there and waited for this one to be with us. And then it turned and started to walk away. And then Lawrence made a kind of a call to it, and it stopped, turned around, and went back at us, and then just walked off with it to meet its mate. And then they just went about their previously scheduled program and wherever they were going. But it was a total blessing. And to add to that, what Clint, you don't know is the next morning I woke up, came out of the camper, and looked down. It looks right down into a ravine, and a black bear was walking right to me. And these are wild animals. And so it just comes up and gets, yeah, that's it. And it just was coming right up to me and came so far, and I made a call out to it, and it stood up on its hind legs, and it gave me a look and then went, okay. And then he turned around and just, strolled off. So the visitations that we had, fox and bear, and of course deer. I mean, young bucks with their velvet antlers still, and the birds, and it was beautiful to be a part of nature and in the wild of it, right there.
I love your phone, by the way. It's perfect for the wild, wild west or something. But,
I'm sorry. Well, I always look at my life as the good, the bad, and the ugly.
well, this fox came up and just sat on a rock and stared at us while we were staring at it. And I didn't know in that space, but it looked like Lawrence was just right at home, and Lawrence, can you make the sound that you spoke to the fox? That I'd never heard a fox speak before in my life, but it turned around and started speaking back to Lawrence. And what was that sound, Lawrence?
Now Jasmine is, the birds are coming.
Now all the birds are coming. All of the wildlife is activated when Lawrence is speaking. So beautiful.
I have to go be with my son, but I just wanted to let everybody know to really take in that the universe is made up of opposites. And for me, this is the best time the planet has ever seen in all my incarnations. I think we should celebrate that the veil is the thinnest it's ever been to connect to source, and to really get into how positive and energizing the whole world is. As the rest falls away of the caterpillar, let us all be butterflies and fly above in fifth dimensional, no duality, only unconditional love. It's here and now, and Clint is the best representation of that in my life, of love, of a human being God itself. So thank you for being who you are. And thank you, Jerem, and thank you, Joseph and Susan and Belle. And I want to give Belle credit that when you arrived, we had mung soup made by Belle for you. And salad all made by her. And she's such a service and a oriented of love person. I want to just share with the whole community how
I'm not sure if did you both freeze, Dr. Clint?
What?
Yeah,
What?
just 1 second. The power and the electricity are having some interesting effects right now. So I'm just grateful, Lawrence, for you. Grateful for everyone. I saw Jerem in Portland. I was able to give him a hug again, and he just shared with me so many magical things as well.
love you guys.
Clint,
Talk to
you're muted,
next
Doctor.
week.
You're muted, Dr. Clint. Dr. Clint, you're muted. Ah.
This is a DT de Kabbalah.
Dr. Clint, you're muted. Unmute. Can you unmute?
I was just talking and no one was hearing me apparently, but it was so awesome. Just imagine something so awesome. I was just saying, how do you, in the midst of the chaos, how do you get balance? Especially when it's hormonal, what balance can come? How can you get more energy, more peace, more happiness? And this story that you're going to hear is so powerful and so profound, and comes with it a special announcement. Now, right before we get to Sarah, I know she's getting into place. Robin Lee, I see you have your hand raised. You want to share? You have something from your heart you want to share?
Yeah, I had hang on a sec.
You're
I think you're muted, Robin Lee. Can you unmute yourself? Let's see here.
All right, now can you hear me? My
I
sound will
don't know
be
why
coming
we're
from
not
my
able to
phone.
hear you.
You
Huh.
can't, can you
Maybe
hear
it's
me from
because
my phone?
there's two different, here, you have to, you unmuted one device. Maybe let's try unmuting the other device.
Well, the problem is I
If that
don't
works.
know how to
I can hear her
completely
on the
unmute the
one.
phone. Maybe I'll just hang up on the phone.
I can hear her.
I can hear her, Clint.
She's on.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you, Robin.
Okay. I had to switch to my I'm in the middle of switching to downstairs because it's going to be really hot today. And so I'm sitting in the dark in my bedroom. So it's amazing that I have this much light coming through the cracks in my window shades. So when you asked what love has taught me this week particular, or in the, I'd say between the past 2 weekends, I have learned, you know, you can love people a lot, but it really hurts when you don't know how to help them. And so I'm in the miracle experiment. And so I have not really had much opportunity to feed ants, except for I did not clean off the counter when the ants were eating whatever had dried up on the counter. And so I wound up having a table at the Strawberry Festival. And the whole time I had this lineup of little kids and parents standing in front of my table almost the whole day waiting for the face painter. So I got myself, I played around with all day, how do I interact with the people who are standing in front of my table, not waiting for my services, not wanting to look at my stuff. But I had this one little girl who was kept smiling at me. And so I offered her one of my tasty little nutritional things that I have. And it was kind of like coaxing to animals to feed the animals. You know, there's horses that are right next to my dad's house, but they're far in the field, and I put stuff on the fence for them, but they never eat it. And so so this little girl decided to have one of my treats. And then I wound up talking to the mom about some of the things that I have that could help families. And I mentioned that the ancient secrets and the marmas are really helpful for kids with autism. And she said she would pass it on to the parents that she knows that have autistic kids because they really, really need something. And so this inspired me to create a course that I'm going to be doing called Happy Kids, Happy Families. And I was going to do it just for families with kids who have autism. And then I thought, well, all kids are struggling a lot these days with, you know, suicides up and depression and everything in kids. And so, and I know that the Marma can help with everybody's health and well-being. And so I wound up coming to the realization that when we love and we do the what do I want, and I know that I want to be able to help people, and then the way comes, then you have to actually follow through. And when you follow through with love, all kinds of magical things can happen. And so and you won't see me at Mount Shasta today, and it turned out to be a lot of really interesting healing things that have been happening because I'm like, what were you even thinking? You could go to Mount Shasta in that short distance of time. But some pretty incredible things have been happening with healing on all different levels. And I would actually like to talk to somebody on your team about how is the short version of when I talk about, you're going to learn about some of the ancient secrets. So I need to talk to somebody about that so that in my little sales thing from my class, I can tell people a little bit about what they're going to learn.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, Robin, so much for sharing. You'll be with us in our hearts, even if you're not physically here with us. So, all right, I want to transition now. I'm so happy everyone's on this call. And I don't know if anyone can connect with Vimla to have her come on the call at some point, because I want her and Alex to connect. But I want to go to Sarah now. And Jana, can you just be prepared because my screen has been freezing? So if anything freezes, not only Sarah, but maybe Sarah has some other guests with her. But the story is so profound and so needed. I wish everyone on this planet could hear her experience. So Sarah, I don't know if you're ready, but we'd just love to hear you share your journey, and specifically with Amrapali Secret, but with anything that's been happening in your life.
Oh, that one's a filled story. It is just lights my heart to see you guys and to be invited and welcomed into such an incredible, loving space that consistently reminds me that God's in everything. I just left church. This is my first time back to church. And it's my second time back in a traditional church in about 20 years. And I love that Siddha Veda, ooh, here comes tears, helped me fall in love with my imperfectness and to be able to walk into a place where a lot of us feel like there might be judgments or fear around our relationship with the divine. And I get to walk in talking about reading people's pulses and these ancient secrets and how we see God in everything. And then to be creating that connection even more. So I'm actually in my car at a church, and I was just talking about these ancient secrets to people in there. And I personally, today I'm going to talk about Amrapali, which is the magical formula for helping women's hormones and to what I feel create more youth and energy and vitalize your life. And I just recently was in Oregon and felt the depth of not having it. I think a lot of us can relate to, hopefully you guys can hear me fine. Is it fine? Okay, good. Yay. Living in suffering and thinking that this is normal. So when I came to Clint my first time and had my pulse read, I looked at him and just started crying. I was on the verge of I felt suicidal. I felt like I was doing everything wrong in motherhood, and I was going through a really difficult divorce. My blood work showed really high levels of DHEA. My thyroid was just so off. And if any of you know what this feels like, it's being in jail in your body. You feel like you're locked into suffering, and any way you look feels confusion, you're confusing. I was having daily headaches, daily nausea and frequent headaches, my menstruation issues. I just thought this is what you live with. A few weeks before, or 2 weeks before, you would have these drops. You could tell it's all hormonal. And I think a lot of us women especially feel like, well, this is just what you deal with if you're a woman. And Clint read my pulse, and I already was doing a little bit of Siddha Veda, but when he read my pulse, I could feel the depth of knowing that what this person is sharing with me is such truth that I took on all of his advice 100% almost. And within 30 days, I noticed a drastic change in my life. And one of those secrets was taking this Amrapali. I did the Hmong too, but even now, I'm still doing just basically Hmong in my
Is it just me, or did she freeze as well?
Her picture actually just disappeared as well.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was me. I thought I was freezing again.
You look frozen.
All right. Thanks, Randy. It was cold last night. I want to say this. Sarah's story is a representation of really hundreds and thousands of women. This was Dr. Ram's last gift in a way. You know, the home remedy version of Amrapali's secret, this powerful woman, 65, but feeling so young. Even the king, who was 30 something, fell in love with her. He was only 30. He had a young, beautiful wife, but fell in love with this 60. What was her secrets for staying young at any age and balancing her hormones?
Yes. So
Frozen.
it's a great story. So, you know, what was the secret of Amrapali being so youthful? And this was the formula that Dr. Naram had created. So Clint, go ahead. And
I love the tag team on today. Fantastic. So Amrapali and Sarah, I think, are you back? Let's see if Sarah's back as well.
Musical phrasings.
I'm back.
Okay, good. We just announced, Sarah, something that you should hear as well. Because we have only the last few hundred bottles that Dr. Ram created, and this is last month's, the only time we've ever done this is we're offering a discount, and John can put the code, but basically when you buy 4 of these bottles, you get 2 free. And just if anyone gets any, it's 15%. So this is something we've never, ever done. And it's the only time this will ever happen. And it may be the last bottles that exist that Dr. Ram himself created. And so I just wanted to share that announcement. And Sarah, you can say what that means to you in the midst of finishing your story. But
yeah, I say no to that. Like it can't be the last bottle. You know, Dr. Naram says no doesn't mean no when you want it bad enough. So I want it bad enough. Like I just went to Oregon and I didn't have my Amrapali with me. And I felt so many of those symptoms come back. So even though I'm taking the hormone herbs, even though I'm eating the mung bean, even though I'm doing all of these other aspects of Siddha Veda, that Amrapali recipe, for whatever reason, eliminates my headaches. It eliminates my menstruation starts. I don't even know. My energy is so much higher. If you guys can't tell, like my happiness is so much higher. It really has profoundly lifted a blanket of fog and heaviness from my life. And Jackie's not with me, but Jackie as well. She went from like 11-day periods to normal 7-day periods. Another one of my clients who's in my group, she even said she had a 2-day period with like no symptoms. I asked her to be on, but she didn't catch it in time. Yeah, I mean, Siddha Veda, of course, I have a lot to say, but as far as Amrapali goes, I really, really hope with all my heart. I don't know what we would do. I don't know what I would do if this stops being created. It's hard to fathom giving women freedom. Like when we have freedom, I'm able to parent better. I'm so much better of a mom, which is raising our future, because these secrets gave me peace, a place to play and be present with my children. And I couldn't do that before. I was hurting so much. I was really not well. They thought I had cancer. I was going in for scans. So if I could say anything, if you are suffering right now, from my heart to your heart, first, I'm here. So if you guys want to reach out to me later and ask questions about it, like it's one of the greatest investments you can make in your life is these secrets and things like Amrapali, to give you more freedom, more play, more peace, you know, that more pleasure and even prosperity. Like when you have this level of freedom in your body, think about how much more you could do with your life. What is the debt you're paying right now for not investing in your health? And so I really, really hope and been praying that we find a way to keep creating this gift to women.
Thank you, Sarah. You know, there is, for this beautiful thing, you pay a price. And in the book, the price sometimes is just the effort of mixing the ingredients and preparing them in a certain way. I was just on the phone with Alessandria, who's from Florida, who just from the home remedy in the book, going from a painful period of 10 days of difficulties for most of her life to just having it in 2-3 days gone pain-free, you know, and what a difference that made for her. And then for those that just want a little bit easier, it's so cool. Dr. Ram created the formulas, the tablets and the liquid that go together. And yeah, so this is the moment in which we just created this special possibility. So we just wanted to share that with love. And we'll have more people on in the next couple of weeks because this will be happening for a month that we're having this special offer. So Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your powerful story. Now there's a warning that comes when you take Amrapali Secret, and your mom knows about this one too, but the warning is that younger men may start to be attracted to you. And so if you don't, if you don't know how to handle that, you want to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally as well, because that's a very real possibility that Amrapali herself had that situation happen. And I've heard it so many times as people have come. So and your mom had an experience like this as well, all of a sudden.
Yeah, she texted me, and she I still have the text. She's like, Sarah, guys are talking to me. Like, what is going on? I was like, I know. I get confused. I'm like, what? He's like 25. What's happening? But your life force comes back. Your Shakti, like, talk about Shakti energy comes back into your body. And then it's just maintaining that intention. So when you get it back, remember your intention with it all. And in my recent learning experience, to stay humble and grounded and see God in it all. Yeah, because I went through my high Shakti, but it is a symptom. And yeah, it's such a glorious, incredible healing recipe.
Thank you so much. And we don't know if it will actually be produced in a factory again in the future. Definitely not this batch, which was actually made by Dr. Naram under his care, under his love. So it's just a priceless opportunity. I just wanted to make sure at least this community knew about it. And with everything, there's so many options. If you don't have money to afford any of the herbs, you start with your diet. You start with the home remedies. You start with Marma. You always have access to your body. And I love the ancient secrets because it's accessible. And you start with what you have. And then for those that want to go deeper and faster, there's so many different possibilities. You know, not everyone can travel to India for Panchakarma, but everyone can start with pressing a point on their body or switching. If you change your food, you change your future. Like the beautiful quote that Judy Lamar put on the bag. And with so many other times, we're trying to come near you so we can have more opportunities for pulse consultations. But if you don't have a chance for pulse consultation, you can also start with video consultation, you know? So anyway.
I think he froze again.
Froze again, yeah.
So yeah, video consultations.
Oh yeah, good. Thank you for that cue up. I just want to send Sarah love right now. Sarah and Atlas, the greatest guy in the world, Orion Blue. We can put our hands together.
Sarah, you're beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your heart always. So appreciate you so much.
I love you guys.
All right, I want to come back to Alex. We just have a few minutes left before we're going to transition to the miracle groups. And this week we've been focusing on gratitude. You know, what happens when gratitude is a magnet for miracles? What happens when you're more grateful? But Alex, I just want to come back to you for a moment because you're there at the event and you just experienced everything that happened. And when this audience, many of them were hearing about ancient secrets for the first time. Can you just describe the magic that happened and from your perspective, anything that you witnessed at the table before, after, or anything in your experience about what happened? I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Alex, if you're still able to.
I don't see him in his video, Clint.
Oh, got it. All right, good. Well, hopefully he'll come back in a moment, especially maybe he's trying to contact Vimala right now. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you for that. So was anyone else there in Mount Shasta for this event? Just seeing if anyone else is on the call. We'll have many more people joining us in the Sunday calls in the future. Technically, the event is still happening right now. I just got a message from 2 people that were joining us early on the call, and The event had just started again, but they're going to come on the call more often. You'll see more of these beautiful people joining. I'll just say this. I'll just say that I felt definitely Dr. Ram and the whole lineage present. And I was coming from a very difficult week myself. I faced some of the most difficult things I've ever faced in my life, honestly. And it's crazy that in the space of the miracle experiment game, like literally in the week, we're talking about Aditi Devabawa, and then crazy things hit. And I could only trust that, okay, this is coming. This is God himself or herself coming. And in the space of then, I almost, honestly, I almost canceled presenting just because I wasn't feeling like I was myself. And then I just heard Dr. Ram's voice saying, why are you getting in the way? Why are you getting in the way of this healing for whoever is in this space? And really what transpired was so magical. And I just want to acknowledge Lee, Carol, and Monica for creating a space, and also Elon, creating a space in which I don't know if I've ever seen an audience more prepared for this message ever that I've ever presented to. And taught me and how activated they were in that space and in this sacred place of Mount Shasta, for anyone who knows, and in the context and being invited by Brandy, my dear friend Brandy, to come, who, when she was about 10, 12 years old, she was in a very toxic situation with her family. And she had a grandmother that saw this and said, let me see if I can create a different environment, and took her out. And the place she brought her to was Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is the first place where she felt peace. And she had never been here since she was 12 years old. And on her birthday, she says, let's go together. Let's go to this event. So she invited about 3 or 4 of us here. And we didn't know, but 3 days before we came, or 2 days before we came, her grandmother passed on. And, just thinking about the love of a mother and the love of a grandmother, and her grandmother, whose name was Violet, gave her this gift that then she was coming back into this space. And it was so beautiful, even in that room, everyone acknowledging her love and sending so much love to her, and made me think about the grandmothers, this mother energy. And that's why I'm so happy, Sarah, you shared about Amrapali's secret. And I see Alex, you're back with us.
Yeah, I was with Melinda, sorry.
Oh, good. You were volunteering and helping. Fantastic.
She's going back to the event.
In this space. Good. I just wanted you to share what you experienced in that space of, seeing what happened in people's hearts as they were hearing about ancient secrets for the first time. Actually, many people had read the book because they heard about it on one of the Healing Wednesday shows. But what was your experience?
Well, it was incredible that I was the volunteer assigned to you. So we set up the table and I put all the books on the table. And people came, what is that book? And I told them, this is a great book. You need to get this book. But the best part, when Clint came to the stage to give a talk, and that what changed the whole audience. And while we all agree, some people talk how genuine Clint is. He came from his heart, and he transformed the whole audience completely. I mean, people were amazed. I mean, people were shining. We have 300 people at the conference. And the amazing part that I took a picture during the break, I went to the table because I knew people are gonna get the books sold out. And it happened. The book were gone like this. And I took a picture of the table and Clint signing the books. Let's see if you can see it there. You see the line, he was signing books, and people came and the books were gone fast. It was amazing, but it was, as I mentioned, when you see Clint on stage, he comes from his heart. It was so genuine, and he conveys all that wisdom. He shares his life, his challenges, very genuine, and people love him. It was really a great day because of Clint's conference. It was amazing.
Thank you, Alex. You're so kind. What I feel like what they connected with is that the message, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And the audience were many healers, many teachers, many leaders, and it's a relief as a parent or as a teacher to know that love can guide us. We don't have to know everything. We just have to love. And then love will help guide all of us. And it was so beautiful also in that space. The books went so fast. I totally underestimated. Literally, we could have had hundreds and hundreds of books there, and they would have sold out. And people, even when the books went, because Roma Rishi also spoke, and Tara was there, and Bodhi, even Bodhi spoke. Their dog was barking at certain points. But we created it so all of the books, whatever came for the books, went to their new home. It was the journey home. Lee Carroll wrote a book, it's a channel by Crown called The Journey Home, which is such a beautiful one. And in that space, I'm so excited. Later today, I'm going to do a Facebook Live. Roma Rishi doesn't know, but we're going to present to him the generosity and love of the people. Even when the books were gone, people just put their name. I could sign a book and send it to them, and they donated so much and contributed so much in the space of love. And I just felt all of your love there with us. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. And Cynthia, I see, Dr. Cynthia, you have something you want to share as well.
Hi, everybody. Love you all. I just had a really quick kind of miracle sharing as I'm listening to all this. I wanted so much to go to Mount Shasta like months and months ago. This is before I learned about you, Dr. Clint, and I've been following Lee Carroll for a while. And right, it's always about this timing. And like my little guy, my 9-year-old has COVID. And I just found out yesterday, and he's been sleeping in my bed and snuggling, and I've been nurturing him and feeding him. And if I were in Mount Shasta, he got it in camp earlier this week, I wouldn't have been able to mother him. And so I'm really grateful for that unexpected thing. But I wanted to share, I was doing one of the Healing Wednesday meditations, and it was a really powerful one recently where you, eyes closed, think about healers that are coming to you and really being present in that space with them, like really believing it's happening in my heart. And the very first person was Dr. Naram. Dr. Naram came to me in this vision as I was with my eyes closed, like, and in this powerful meditation, each healer was sort of presenting, I'm almost going to cry, this little package to you that is like your gift of healing from them. And he was right there, and I only know him through you. And it was this tremendous, powerful meditation. The last miracle is that I've been thinking a lot about how to change psychiatry, and I'm committed to change it as best I can and learn ancient secrets. And as I was driving down my country streets, I was thinking about a patient who I had lost, and thinking how I need to do this, and I need to be, and I lost her to suicide many years ago. And as I was driving, and forgive me if this is too intensive, but I was thinking about Dr. Clint, your sister popped into my heart for a moment. And I said, thank you. And I looked up, and a little red cardinal was on the wire. And I believe little cardinals are like the people that we love who have passed, have come back. And so I just thought I'd share that with you because I thanked her for coming to me. So thanks for listening and being here. I thought I'd share that.
Oh, so beautiful. You're gonna make me cry. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you, Alex. Thank you everyone for joining this call, for sharing so vulnerably. I'm gonna come back to Luke, because I promised you I'd come back to you. We're about to go and transition into some breakout rooms for those that are part of the Miracle Experiment experience, to share what things you're grateful for, the miracles that you've been seeing. But before that, Luke, anything love taught you on this call? Any takeaways that you're going to walk away with?
Yes, when she was singing, it so touched me, and I was very tearful. It touched my heart. But you know, Dr. Clint, what's so ironic is that I must be going through some amazing transformational healing, because on this call this morning, this thing I talked about with the heart is like the worst ever. I mean, I have to keep walking around because when I'm sitting, it's worse. And I'm saying to myself, you know, we talked about surrender and trust, and that's what I'm doing, surrendering and trusting and doing the heart mama, and nothing's helping. I keep saying, okay, I know I'm going through a transformational healing, and I'm going to see Dr. Clint later, and I'm just giving myself over to soul and spirit, that I'm coming through this, and on the other side is going to be this wonderful healing taking place. And when I heard her talk about Amrapali's secret and what she was going through being a prisoner in your body. That's what I've been feeling like this morning, being a prisoner in my body. Why is that happening? Here I am in Mount Shasta, this beautiful place, and I've been with Roma Rishi and Tara these last few days. Why is this happening?
So Luke,
And
are you open to discover and experience something right now in this moment that's in your own power?
please. Yes, please.
At the event, these beautiful people, I was going to be there. Did I freeze a little bit? I'm good. Okay. So these beautiful people flew, and she was experiencing an intense pain and a frustration similar. And I taught her this marma you can do. So you take your right hand, Luke, can you do this with me? And you put your left thumb right like this. Keep your other fingers open. Put your thumb, but keep your fingers open. Then curl these fingers around. Grab your thumb. Go ahead and grab your thumb, Luke. And then take your other fingers up like this.
Yeah, I've been doing this constantly, Doc. I mean, literally, I've known about it for months, and I've been doing it constantly.
Good. And we're going to do it with you.
Okay.
And we're going to channel the power of everyone. So everyone, I want you to take your hand out. When I taught this to Anne, she saw me 2 days later. The next day, she says, my pain went from a 9 to a 1. And her husband said his pain was 90% gone just from doing this. It's very powerful for heart situations, for back, increasing the circulation. And in this moment, Luke, also focus on what do you want? Instead of the fear or the anxiety of what you don't want, get an image in your mind of what you do want. And so get that picture in your mind, Luke, and then go ahead and we're all going to do this together. Take your right hand. This is very powerful for us all to learn in this moment, Luke. You're giving us all a gift. Right hand, left hand like this. You curl your fingers around, grab your left thumb with your right hand. Then you take all the fingers up and press it here. And then you squeeze 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So keep doing this. And then when I see you at the clinic, we'll have some more conversation. We'll do another powerful marma for you in that space. Thank you, Luke. Love you so much. Love you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. Thank you.
for
Thank you.
sharing so authentically. Aditi Deva Baba, who knows the unexpected miracle about to happen, but I really believe the principle Dr. Ram shares that any challenge, obstacle, heartache, literally a heartache, has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. So I just can't help it. I think I saw Roma Rishi pop on. Roma Rishi and Tara and Bodhi. Oh, there he is. I was just bragging about how you were getting the Hmong ready. Oh, there it is. Getting the Hmong ready for the clinic. Oh, so beautiful. But now my mouth is watering. I don't know, you're muted right now, so we can't hear you, but we saw the beautiful gift of love that
Can you hear me now?
There, we can hear you, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Tara's here. Jimbo's here. Here's Tara. She's cutting up.
See everyone.
She's cutting up the celery. My phone battery is going to die any second, but the mung bean soup is cooking, ready. We'll bring it to your pulse clinic.
You are so amazing. This is the true power of ancient secrets touching every home and every heart. They may have a home right now, but their hearts. Oh, Jimbo, fantastic, amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna sign off because we have to keep cooking here.
Great, no problem. All of us are actually completing the call right now, but sending you so much love and looking forward to seeing you in just a few hours, about an hour and a half. And the place that Roma Rishi found for the Pulse Clinic, what's the name of it? Can you tell the name? It's so perfect.
Soul Connections.
Soul Connections.
Soul.
Shasta is where the clinic is going to be hosted. So it's so beautiful. If anyone happens to be in Mount Shasta, if you don't have an appointment at 2:30, we're going to do something for anyone's welcome. We'll do a Marma Shakti session, and then anyone's welcome to come for a meet and greet. So thank you, Roma Rishi. We love you. Love Tara, Bodhi, Jimbo. Sending you so much love and looking forward to seeing you in just a few.
We love everyone in the Ancient Secrets community around the world.
Yeah, beautiful. And for those that can come on Facebook Live, we'll have a special announcement at that time. But I just want to turn it over actually maybe to Jana and Carol. I mean, sorry, if Carol, I don't think Carol's here, but Jana and Cornelia. Anyone else, if you can, put in the chat what love taught you on today's call. And as you're putting in the chat those things, we're going to transition I want to say that I love everyone. I really deeply love you for showing up and whatever is the space, the transition, the challenge, the opportunities, the love, whatever is the gratitude or the moment, this moment. And I just want to say thank you for being you. You're not here by accident and you're not alone. You're not alone, and love is guiding us. And through that challenge is an opportunity of equal or greater benefit. I am so convinced. And that's what's maintaining and helping me through one of the most challenging moments of my life. And I'm so excited. I see Anne says it's okay to feel joy when all is not perfect. That's what love taught you, Anne. That's so beautiful. Jerem says, love's taught me that miracles can be our default setting. I love that. Esther Francis, love taught me the power of love, miracles, and the greatest miracle of all is love. Cynthia, love taught me that all is possible and we're not alone. Rebecca says, the things that stuck out to me was faith in miracles and that everyone deserves love. Sarabjit, to trust and keep going. Rochelle is giving advice, says, Rebecca, headaches can come from the detox. Yeah, we could talk about that. And also Cynthia, for your son, I don't want you to forget on page 293, the remedy for immunity has helped so many people who have been in this situation. It's so delicious too. Even my mom loved the taste. She says it tastes like liquid ginger snaps. So to make sure you can make that for your son. Judy Lamar, love taught me to ask for help. Oh, that's so beautiful. Gail, love is never ending, even under the worst circumstances. So true. Julia, love taught me to show up, to listen and to feel the messages and apply them. Heather Ford, love is teaching me that caring for myself is caring for all. Yes. Just want to anchor that in for sure. Sharon Hinckley, you have something the love taught you today's call?
Oh, well, no, it's two things. The caring for myself is caring for someone else. And then the other one is, why am I getting in the way? I'm really good at getting in the way. And so maybe I'm a recovering getter in the way person. Yeah.
Recovering getter in the wayer.
Yeah.
I love that.
12 steps for getting out of your own way. Oh, that would actually be something fun to write. 12 steps for getting out of your own. Okay.
Well, I want to read that book. I need it. Please write that book, Sharon.
Oh, well, that wasn't the book I was playing. Well, okay.
Sue, love taught me how much music can heal the soul. Andrea, love taught me to trust that the universe always has my best interest at heart. Andrea, love reminds me to be willing to experience that the more source is sourcing us with, more that source is sourcing us with. Beautiful. Rochelle, I believe in miracles and even count on them. Chris Caswell, we're never alone. We are all one, and healing self is healing others with love. So I just want to say in that space, just to anchor that in, we can just rub our hands together. And as we're making this transition, we're just going to rub our hands together, but then we're going to put it on our own hearts. And as you're saying, I love you, and you're saying it to yourself and trusting that as you take care of yourself, it's really taking care of all of life simultaneously. So you can unmute if you want to. I love you, and I'm with you.
I love you. And I'm with
I
you.
love you.
I love you and I'm with
Love you and I'm with
you.
you. David.
You and I'm with
Love you,
you.
Luke. Love you,
Love
Esther
you and I'm with
Francis.
you.
Gail. Love you,
Love you and I'm
Hafsana.
with you.
Love you, Randy. Love you, Ann. Love you, Dr. P. Heather. Love you, Michael. Love you, Dr. Clint. Love you, Robin. Love you, Alex. Love you, Amanda. Love you, love you, Jana. Thea. Love you, Emily. Love you, Chris. Love you, Marianne. Love you, Bridget and the babies.
I love you.
Love you, Cassandra.
So beautiful. From the space of I love me, I'm with me. I love you and I'm with you, Clint. I have so much more to give. I say I love you and I'm with you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaskar. Now, for those who are joining us, we're going to stop the recordings. And for those that are joining us